Welcome, everybody. It's All Hallows Eve, or the night before All Hallows Eve. I don't know. The Eagles are playing a not scary opponent in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mike Bauer and myself are going to break it down in about 30 seconds. Let's go.
He looks right, he fires, and it's intercepted! It's intercepted! It is intercepted by the Eagles! What a play! Snap. He's back, he's going to run. He's in! Touchdown! Jalen Hurts! 20. Westbrook takes it. Looks for running room. Up to the 25, the 30, to the 35-40, 45 midfield, 45-40, 45-40. Brian Westbrook! He's going! He's gone! Touchdown! 15-10! The Eagles win! The Eagles win! The Eagles win!
It's all birds, all the time.
How about them Eagles? What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday night. Happy pre-Halloween. Happy Mischief Night, I think the kids call it these days.
I don't know. I don't know anything these kids say, dude. You're the one in the schools, so you're probably hearing all this like younger kid jargon. I don't.
You know, I was teaching the youths of America today, and a couple of them used the same phrase, and I went, "Oh, you mean keep it a bean?" And they went, "How do you know that, old white man?" And I went, "Because I'm hip to the jargon, y'all. Thanks to JD for telling me what keep it a bean means."
Hey, listen, somebody told me that I have infinite aura.
Oh.
I told them to please kindly remove themselves from my vicinity. And then he said, "Well, then you have Ohio Riz." And I'm like,
Did you have Skibbity Ohio Riz?
I was told that is something to strive for.
No, Skibbity is terrible.
You know what? You know who has
this is terrible.
You know who has some very good Riz right now, if you will? Jalen Hurts in the Philadelphia.
Oh, what a segue!
I'm the segue master.
Mike, you did not get the opportunity to discuss the very phenomenal win that the Eagles put together this past week. So, what were your thoughts on the Eagles' dismantling of the Cincinnati Bengals?
I think I could speak for you, Johnny, myself. When we watched that first 10-minute and 4-second drive that the Cincinnati Bengals put together, which, by the way, credit to somebody from the Taylor family, which includes Zach and Press, calling a drive like that, because that was textbook how to play NFL football.
Yes.
We all thought the same thing. We said, here we go again.
Yep.
And Johnny texts me. He's like, here comes a 3 and out. And I'm like, probably. And the Eagles came right back with a great drive. And from there, the defense looked great. Vic Fangio's system looks like it's starting to get together. Getting Cooper DeJean on the field has been huge. Jalen Hurts, another clean game. Chip, I wanted to ask you about this. I was thinking about this today on the drive home from work. Is this the best running game you've seen from Jalen Hurts in a while?
So,
because he ran hard.
He did. Yeah, and I think part of it is, him being beat up from, the Super Bowl year. And then last year we mentioned that they overused him actually to the point of
agreed
nothing left.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know if I have it as the best I've seen him run lately. I just think it's the most we've seen him run lately and the most efficient. I'm not crazy as, Johnny commenting in from afar. Happy birthday, Nora, by the way.
Oh, yeah. So Johnny's little girl, Nora.
It's not that I don't like it. It's the fact that we have a Saquon Barkley. Yeah. I would much rather utilize Saquon Barkley and not run the brotherly shove 8 times in a game.
Here's the thing.
I think you're asking for him being hurt.
Do you remember last year in the Chiefs game, they ran that nuanced play out of the brotherly shove formation? It was I'm not saying that we have to do that all the time, but, show some different looks. You know what I mean? But I thought Jalen looked really well running the ball. Aside from that, and I was talking to Johnny about this as well, he was using the middle of the field a little bit more.
Yes.
And that's huge. Hats off to Fred Johnson. I thought he held his own pretty well in there. Same thing with Tyler Steen. And Grant Calcaterra looked really good. A lot of his yards were yak yards after the catch. This was a complete game. Also, credit to the Eagles' run defense. The Bengals had 58 yards on 20 carries. That averaged 2.9 yards per carry. I'm just really happy with what I saw. They did not let Jamar Chase torch them, which is one thing I was concerned about. Mike Gesicki getting open was a little problematic, though.
Yeah, and I did say that going into the game, my concern was that it was going to be the T. Higgins and Jamar Chase game.
Yeah.
Having T. Higgins not play, I think, was the ultimate equalizer, which gave the Eagles that advantage. I also said about a week ago that Mike Gesicki is not someone to take lightly. And sure enough, a pass-catching tight end is the Eagles' kryptonite. It's the way it is.
It's sad but true. That being said, as much as I like Grant Calcaterra, I would prefer if Grant Calcaterra was our tight end 3. Jack Stoll, I like Jack Stoll. I do think that there's going to be an opportunity in the offseason. I'll be on the touch on this more. I would like to see them go after a guy like Luke Musgrave from Green Bay. He lost his job to Tucker Kraft. Michael Mayer from the Raiders. He lost his job to Brock Bowers. There's Luke Schoonmaker down in Dallas. He's not going to get on the field behind Jake Ferguson. There's guys that they could bring in and pair with Dallas Goedert that, we do have to think about. Dallas Goedert misses a lot of time. He's an elite player when he's on the field, but he's also, I know you love Zach Ertz, tight end 9 on the season, by the way.
You know what? It's not even that. Can I tell you?
You can tell me.
And I'll let you get back to your tight end point here. But watching, and I mentioned this on Sunday night, and Johnny gave me about 14 different weird, bizarre looks.
I know the looks.
Watching Grant Calcaterra find success on Sunday showed me that maybe Dallas Goedert isn't as elite as we all hope he would be. We've mentioned this before. He's good for a really bad drop per game. We've mentioned that, yes, he's a great run blocker, but it's the exact same thing as when we had what's the world's greatest blocking wide receiver. What was his name? The dude with the umbrella.
JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
All you had to say was umbrella guy, and then the Scones guy was Kerry. What the hell was his last name? The cornerback they had in here. Under the
Williams.
Kerry Williams. There it is. Thank you.
So look, I want Dallas Goedert to be a lot more and a lot better. I agree that he's got to be on the field. That's going to be extremely beneficial. But I don't think the offense lost too much by him not being there. Yeah. No, Johnny, there is not an earthquake in Norristown. I just stand up when I podcast, and this table will rock sometimes because I hit it with my hands.
Give me a second here. I want to look up some stats here, okay? Because
I love some stats.
So the one good thing about owning my own business, which is the Dynasty Rewind, is I can use the Dynasty Rewind credit card to pay for things like PFF's premium subscription, $80 a year. I don't pay a dime for it. Let's talk about some blocking right now. Let's talk about run blocking, because we hear about with these tight ends, and I won't take too much time with this. We hear that they love Jack Stoll for his run blocking, and Dallas Goedert is such a great blocker. Okay. The Cincinnati game, Jack Stoll graded out as a run blocker, according to PFF, 52.6. Okay. He's the best run blocking tight end on the team. Week 8 against Cincinnati, Grant Calcaterra graded out at 56.7. That's better than 52.6. Yes. Dallas Goedert's best run blocking grade of the season was against Cleveland, 59.7. So we're talking about how good of a run blocker Dallas Goedert is, how good of a run blocker Jack Stoll is. Grant Calcaterra is right there. Now, he had some clunkers against Tampa Bay. The whole team had a clunker against that. And against Cleveland, he wasn't great either. For the most part, he's in the orange, which is about mid, as they would say. Dallas Goedert, 3 games this season under 50% run block rate. We only use PFF when it helps our argument. Yeah, that's how arguments are won, Johnny. I use PFF. Because PFF has great college stats. I do a lot of college scouting and stuff like that. They update their stats pretty quickly. But it's just one of those things. I wanted to put some numbers into it and put it into perspective, because the things that the media feed us
Right.
may not
And
really add up.
And again, I'm not of the argument of getting rid of Dallas Goedert. I think that he is a good part of this team. I just don't think that he has the same value. Like, you can go out and get any tight end, as evidenced by Grant Calcaterra and Jack Stoll putting together the game that they did. So if the money isn't right, I would be okay moving on from Dallas Goedert. Kind of is my point. I have no loyalty there.
I can find out what his contract looks like if you want.
There you go. While you do that, we shall begin discussing this upcoming week's matchup, because it is, of course, Wednesday night, and it is the AAT Birds inside Swoop, which means we are breaking down the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. The 2-6 Jacksonville Jaguars, the beginning to dumpster fire and fire sale Jacksonville Jaguars. What's the contract real quick?
They really can't cut him until after next year. If they cut him pre-June 1st, it is an $11 million cap hit. And if he's a post-June 1st cut, he's a $5 million cap hit. So,
and again, I don't see a need to cut him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's not necessarily a
almost
overwhelming need to keep him. He doesn't make or break this team.
Yeah. And speaking of the Jaguars, last I checked, and I did look this up a couple weeks ago, Press Taylor is actually calling the plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He sure is.
Let's not forget, Press Taylor is one of the reasons that Doug Peterson did not have a job in Philadelphia. He was so committed to him. The guy's got to have naked pictures of Doug Peterson on his phone somewhere. That's the only thing.
I don't want to think about that.
I don't understand, because we know, we've seen Doug Peterson call plays in the city of Philadelphia. He is a competent play caller. That's what he's very good at. I thought he excelled as a play caller. Why are you giving it to Press Taylor? Why?
I don't know if I think that he is I like the word competent. You use the word competent.
Okay.
I will double down and say competent.
If you have talent, which the Jaguars do, they have talent there. Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas.
Let's discuss
Jr.
that.
Okay, let's talk.
Let's discuss that. Christian Kirk, one of their top wide receivers, just went on season-ending IR with a broken collarbone.
Yeah. So it's going to be next.
They traded away their starting left tackle.
Bold strategy.
Yeah, he will not be able to see. Now, with that being said, they still have, Brandon Scherff as their right guard. He's pretty good. You've got Gabe Davis. He's pretty good. You've got Evan Ingram. He's pretty good, right? Another pass-catching tight end.
Gabe Davis banged up as well with a shoulder injury, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? You've got Trevor Lawrence, and if for some reason Trevor Lawrence would not make it through the game, you've got Mac Jones coming in. Ooh. There is very little about this offense for the Jacksonville Jaguars and the fact that Press Taylor calls their plays that worries me. Your initial thoughts about the offense to begin?
This is a chance for the Eagles to rack up some sack numbers, and here's why. So they also, one of their safeties was put on injured reserve, Andrew Wingard, as of today with a knee injury. But Gabe Davis, shoulder injury, he's nursing that. Travis Etienne's got a hamstring injury. Tank Bigsby, their other running back, he's got an ankle injury. He's questionable. Brian Thomas Jr. is questionable with a chest injury as well. So, look, this is a banged-up team right now. It is a team that has lost their way. That division outside of Houston is a mess, and Houston hasn't really.
And Houston just got a major blow to their team with
Stephon Diggs
being knocked out of the season, and Tank Dell is already on IR.
Yeah. So, and Johnny's chiming in saying both starting wide receivers most likely out. So, look, I mean, I expect to see 2 tight end sets with what the hell's the starting tight end's name? Evan Ingram. Brenton Strange. You're going to get Parker Washington in there a little bit as well. Sure. But it's not going to be looking good for the Jags in Philly, man.
The Jaguars, my favorite phrase, on paper, are a bad football team. On the field, they are a bad football team.
And that's
on offense,
the problem lies.
They're a bad football team. On defense, they're a bad football team. On special teams, they're a bad football team. Coaching, they're a bad football team.
Yeah.
There is an opportunity here for the Eagles to string a third straight game together of just pure domination. It's part of the reason why the NFL said, hey, let's get this game out of prime time. We'll move it to 4 o'clock
Thank
and
you.
let's get it off of Sunday Night Football
Thank
because it's a bad football team. And when they made the move, the Eagles weren't exactly lighting the world on fire.
True.
But this, I mean, look, Doug Peterson comes back to Philly. That doesn't have the same.
He's already been back.
Right. It doesn't have the
already
same.
been Right.
And this will probably be the year that he gets fired from the Jaguars. This is a game that we should dominate top to bottom.
Yeah.
And Johnny, I'm not taking it lightly. Like Travis Etienne can go off at any minute. I already said that the pass catching tight end is the Eagles' kryptonite. Evan Ingram is able to catch passes. So we all know like Trevor Lawrence can make a couple things happen. But if the Eagles stick to the game plan from the last 2 weeks, this should be an enjoyable Sunday evening.
Chip, do you know who one of their starting cornerbacks is in Jacksonville?
Ronald Darby.
Yeah, the Ronald Darby revenge game. We'll call it that. Let's call it that. Why not?
I personally would take the over on whatever they're saying for A.J. Brown v. Ronald Darby.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And this,
I don't care whether it's touchdowns, yards, broken ankles. I don't care. I'm taking the over.
This is a really good game. The important thing here, also Zach McPherson on the Jaguars practice squad, another Eagles connection. This is a good game, and don't force it until you have the lead. I think this would be important, a good time to see Jahan Dotson get some reps worked his way, because we saw that we needed him at one point in Tampa Bay and it didn't happen. We know that Jalen loves to trust his guys before he throws to him. I get it.
Right.
Make the connection happen. Jahan Dotson, talented wide receiver, didn't work out in Washington. Washington seems to be doing okay. They're leading the division right now. For now. But get Jahan Dotson involved, and don't rush Dallas Goedert back. I don't think you need him this game. To be
no, you don't need him in this game literally at all.
Yeah.
And when you look at the Eagles' offensive weapons, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith are all choice 1, 1A, 1B, and 1C. Then Jalen Hurts is choice 2.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just fighting for the remaining scraps. So you know what? Maybe this is the week that Jahan Dotson gets some scraps. Maybe this is the week that Greg Calcaterra continues to get some scraps. This is what I'm saying. You don't need Dallas Goedert. He's a nice commodity to have, but this is not a team that thrives by the tight end anymore.
Especially when you consider this game, I hate to say it, we have a tendency to play down to our competition sometimes. You've seen it before, Chip. We've discussed that. But this could almost end up being a trap game, because then after this, we go to Dallas. Now, I understand that Dallas is not playing well. They're 3-4, despite the fact Jerry Jones saying they're all in. But we do not play well in Dallas typically. And our schedule gets a lot harder after this game. We have Dallas, then the Commanders, the Rams getting healthy right now. Stafford could still sling it. Then after that, we go to Baltimore. We get a bye week with the Panthers coming in. Goes back to being tough. The Steelers playing good football right now. The Commanders again
playing very good football right now. Commanders
they're tough.
I told you before the season that they were going to be a team to watch.
Yeah. And then after that, the Cowboys again. And then we have another bye week in week 18 where we play.
So Mike, do you have this game not as a must win, because I don't have it that way, but do you have this game as a you better not lose?
That's a good way to quantify it, if you will, because like I said, the schedule gets a lot harder after this.
Right.
It does.
And you got to get out of this game healthy as well. I mean, this is not a game that you should have to expend. Again, every team in the NFL, whatever, I understand. This is not a game where you should have to expand and expend a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Yes, the Eagles are 5-3. 5-2.
Yeah, wait a
Johnny has
second.
a typo.
Who made this?
Johnny's got a
graphic?
typo. Johnny's got a
Wait.
typo, Dwayne. Thank you for the catch.
Johnny's
mind wasn't where it should be. The Eagles are 5-2.
Dwayne, thank you very much. And by the way, I was thinking going
Dwayne.
into the Cincinnati game, like, man, we got to win this because 5-2 looks a lot better than 4-3 going into this upcoming stretch of the season.
Agreed. And look, I a week ago made the prediction that the Eagles were going to lose to the Bengals because T. Higgins and Gesicki and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrows. Not having T. Higgins was a game changer, and I was very pleasantly wrong. I was okay with being wrong. I was very fine with it.
Yeah.
Look, the Eagles need to dominate this game. The Eagles need to, from the first minute until they put Kenny Pickett in, dominate this game top to bottom. This needs to be another one of those games where they have to cut away to a more competitive football game.
I completely agree with that 100%. I want to see, if the Jaguars defense is as bad as we say it is, Saquon doesn't need 25 carries. Get him out of here healthy because, I mean, look, man, like I said, it gets tougher. So we're going to need him down the stretch. We're going to need him in the playoffs. Let Gainwell get some – let Shipley get some runs. Shipley would have had his first touchdown last week.
Shipley's run was beautiful.
Except for that terrible holding call against Tyler Steen, which I did not like. I did not like both penalties that Steen got called on him. I think Steen is holding his own really well, by the way. And I feel, going back a little bit, I feel like they gave up on him a little bit too fast in the preseason. Like, he got that ankle injury. He looked good until then. But hey, that's another discussion. Personally, I think what's going to happen in the offseason is they're going to offer Mekhi Becton a contract. He's not going to like it, and he's going to walk. And he's going to want more money.
And that's fine for a former first-round talent to rejuvenate his career.
Yeah, that's fine. If you
now,
get
I'm looking,
that's fine.
Now I'm looking at this Jaguars, their schedule so far. They put up 17 points against the Dolphins week 1. They put up 13 points against the Browns week 2. 10 against the Bills. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting. They hung 20 on the Texans.
Okay.
37 on the Colts. 16 on the Bears. 32 on the Patriots. 27 on the Packers. So this team can score.
They can. It's just.
But they also had, like we said, Christian Kirk. They had both of their wide receivers. They had a starting left tackle. They no longer do. So I think that there are things here. They are still a 2-6 team for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. And they are not getting any healthier right now. They're going in the opposite direction of that. Travis Etienne coming back is not going to save this team.
No, and the Eagles have the ability with our front four to shut down the run. So
Ooh, the Jaguars have to play the Lions in a few weeks too.
That game could be even more ugly than what we hope Sunday is.
The Lions are a scary team, man.
Lions are a very good team. And with that being said, I do feel like it's time to play, in honor of our friend Johnny, this little clip.
It's time for the Eureka Locks of the week. Who's your lock?
I forget what my lock was last week, but I know it was wrong. I do recall that.
Sorry.
I felt like I was close. Oh, you know what it was? It was the Broncos. And whoever the Broncos played, I took under 35 points.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, I took an over of like 70. I chopped that number in half, and I was wrong by just a little bit, but I was still wrong, as I usually am. So with that being said, I'm going to Eureka Lock the crap out of this game right here. And
Okay.
I'm going to say that Jalen Hurts gets 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns.
He might do that in the first quarter. By the way,
I
Eagles
understand.
still have not scored a point in the first quarter.
No, they have not.
The streak is now 8 games. Goes back
It's
to last year.
stupid.
Do you know who scored the last first quarter point for the Eagles, by the way? Chip?
It had to be some scrub-a-dub-a-doo.
Certainly was, although he wasn't a scrub at one point in time. That would be a touchdown reception for Julio Jones.
Julio, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. My lock, I'm flipping into the college side. Penn State, they got slighted. College game day is coming to Happy Valley, and you're going to make them play Ohio State at noon instead of the 7:30 slot?
That should be a 7:30 slot. Historically, where both of those teams are ranked, that should easily let the Penn State people drink all day and then do that. But they didn't, and alas.
We have the number 3 Penn State Nittany Lions playing the number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes. Penn State rips the win away from Ohio State. Drew L.R., I believe he is going to play full practice today. Penn State takes
Drew Allard, there is no question that he is playing. The question is, will he play as a Penn State quarterback typically does against Ohio State?
Let's hope that. Let's hope if he does, he looks like Trace McSorley out there. Almost beat Ohio State on Halloween a few years ago. Remember watching that game. Should have won that. Came down to the last second. Going to be a high-scoring game, though, I think.
I think so, too. And finally, we have our Eagles-Jaguars predictions. Mike, why don't you start us off? Tell me why you think this game plays out.
I think this game's going to play out kind of the way we think it does. I'm not predicting any first quarter points, again, because I think it's going to be a slow start because we play down to our competition. Maybe we'll score one in the first quarter. But I think it's going to be a bit of a snooze fest from about midway to the third quarter on to the end of the game. Eagles win 31-10.
I have faith.
I'm being generous with 10 points.
Ooh. Ready for it?
Yes.
The Eagles will win this game. We all knew I was going to say that part.
Yeah.
But the Eagles will win this game by a score of 42-14.
Wow.
This is the time that they finally realize they can play a little bit of football.
Listen, I'm not going to complain about that at all. If they do.
42-14.
Yeah. The 5-3 Philadelphia Eagles.
There you go.
Come on, Johnny.
Or it'll be the 6-2 Philadelphia Eagles after this weekend.
6-2.
Mike, what's your kid going to Halloween as?
She's Elsa.
Love it.
Yeah. What about your kids? What are they going to be?
The 15-year-old is going as his girlfriend's luggage.
Okay.
Because that's all the two of them is together. But as usual, the 10-year-old is going to win Halloween as he is going as an inflatable Mike Wazowski.
I love that. And I love Monsters, Inc.
So.
Great movie.
Me, I'm going to go as a guy who might actually shave his beard because November's coming up and I don't shave all of November, which means I can't go into it looking like this because otherwise I will come out looking like white James Harden.
I don't know, man. I'm digging the beard. I'll hate to see it go, but I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do grow a pretty nice beard.
It looks good.
With that, I mean, look, hey, we should be talking Sunday night pretty happily, I'm hoping.
Hopefully.
But, hey, such is life. Make sure you're checking out everything all about the birds. You got the Twitter/X. You've got the new YouTube page. You've got the Instagram. You've got the Facebooks. You've got all of the things. And this has been the Inside Swoop. I'm Chip. This is Mike. And we are going to end the show the way we always do by saying a very positive and a very happy and about to be 6-2. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
This is Matt Ware. Hey, for all the Eagle content you need, go follow All About the Birds. They do a damn thing. Check them out.
Hey, Eagles fans, I may be in Tampa, but I know where to find the best Eagles content out there. Check out my friends at All About the Birds.
Philadelphia, what's up? This your boy Freddie Mitchell, a.k.a. Fred X. It's all about the bird.
All birds all the time. All birds all the time.
All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.